Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, The Truther Files. It's good to have each and every one of you watching my videos and waking up to the truth. In this segment, we will be going over the Mark of the Beast and bring you up to date with what is going on. But before we get started, please click that subscribe button to show support to the channel so I can continue making videos. It will only take 2 seconds, I promise. Even if you're not religious, you're going to want to see this video. Now, without further ado, let's dive straight into the rabbit hole. You don't want to miss this one.
To the break room, you got to grab your snack, bring it over here. You got to use a card to be able to purchase it. But what if there was a way that you wouldn't have to do any of that, where you could be microchipped and that would basically work for the entire building? Well, it might be possible soon. Well, dozens of people are doing it voluntarily. Next week, 3 Square Market in
And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand, or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666.
Revelation 13, chapter 16, we read that they will cause all both rich and poor to receive a mark in their right hand, or their foreheads, so that no man can buy or sell without the mark of the beast. We also learn the number of the beast, which is 666. In the last few years, we see a great increase of employers wanting to chip their workers. This chip comes with many uses. They are allowed to unlock doors within their place of work, buy food from the cafeteria or break room, and so on. This is the beginning of what is later to come with these chips. You see, it's a lot more simpler for them to scan a chip or an implant in your hand in order to identify you, make purchases, track you. You get the idea. It's not only employers that are seeing a rise in this. We're seeing health insurance, homeowners, all the way down to the average Joe. And before you know it, it will come down to a choice. Get the mark or don't. Seems easy, right? Just don't get the mark. You must understand, the beast is building a system that relies only on technology that will revolve around this mark. It will become mandatory for every citizen that wants to receive payment for work, sell property, get health care, to have the implant. Why? It's safer. It's easier. They will use tactics to ease you into this reality, just like they're doing now. Slowly but surely, you will accept the mark.
I can't believe he just paid with his hand. Like, you just literally put your hand up, and you're good to go. Like, that's crazy.
A little sting, and it's all over with. You can keep up with everything in your life with a little implant inside your hand. You can start your car, you can open doors, verify your identity, and more. Catchy, right? Eventually, they will say it must be done so police officers can safely identify felons, murderers, rapists. You get the idea. They will use the tactics to get you to buy into their mark. What is the main goal of this mark? What is their so-called endgame? Control. This will finally be a way so that everyone can be kept track of, the masses, all in one system. There is a 5G beast system that falls into place, and these so-called smart cities. We will all be tagged like cattle, and anyone that rejects the mark will lose all luxury of the most important, simplest things we take for granted now, such as paying bills, getting gas, getting food. You see, this is the ultimate endgame for total control. Yes, you will have people that reject the mark, but in the end, their family, their children will get hungry due to not being able to rely on Mother Nature like God intended in the first place, and will ultimately take the mark. This is serious, folks. You need to be preparing now. You rely too much on the grid. Now is the time to learn how to be self-efficient. Now is the time you need to learn to do without before it is too late. Over the years, they have built a system, slowly but surely. A system where you must rely on them and only them for survival. If a person can't Google how to survive, they will surely die. Their plan was brilliant. You can't just do it all at once. No, you have to feed them. Feed them a little at a time. You get used to the idea of someone doing something for you, and before you know it, you completely forget how to do it yourself. You have children that grow up and don't have a clue how to do for themselves. You stick a cell phone in their hand and an iPad in another and tell them to hush. They are creating a world that is so dumbed out, no one is going to make it unless they start now. Today is the day of salvation. In case you still don't understand, let me break it down for you. You have a 5-year-old son. His appendix just ruptured. He has 3 hours to live, but you refuse the mark. The hospitals will not take him due to policy that the beast has in place. Do you let your child die? No. You will be running as fast as you can to get the mark to save your child, right? They're not going to have to force you to get the mark. They're not going to have to force anyone to get the mark. You're going to be willing to take you and your child to get the mark. Everything but the mark will become obsolete. The system has been in place because of us, people not acting and stopping this madness. Now we sit by and say, now, let someone else handle it. I'm not getting my hands dirty. People, we have to rise up. We need to refuse these programs and say, the hell with you, we won't have it. They are never going to change their agenda. The Illuminati, the elite, will always have their ultimate endgame. However, over the years, the endgame has been stalled, slowed down, and ultimately failing. We, the people, must act and stand up and say, we're not having it. Not only for us, but for our children's children. They have to wait and rebuttal and come up with a plan B, just like they had to before. You can make a difference. I hear all the time, look at me, I'm so small compared to them. What am I supposed to do? You act, you gather, you spread the word and truth of their agenda, just as I am doing here today with you. These people only want to control, manipulate, and end you. Your values mean nothing to them. When the old one dies out, there will always be a younger one there to take their place. This war will not end. We need to stall them and show them this world belongs to us, and not a handful of Satanists. They want ultimate control. For years we have sat back and let them rule over us. The leaders we have in place all come from this satanic bloodline in some way or another. We must be careful in planning our next move. Remember, this is the enemy, and the enemy have the upper hand on everything we do. They watch you through your webcam, they listen through your smart TV, your cell phones. They will always be a step ahead of us. But what we have, something that they don't. Majority. Let me remind you, there is a small group of people that are behind the shadows, pulling the strings. We need to say no to every implant tech that they try to push. Yes, technology can help us, but it will also hurt us and destroy us. Remember, they push little by little. First they will get it in the workplace, and before you know it, they will make it a law, a way of life. People are so ready for these smart cities, but they have no idea what is this going to do to us. I recommend you watch a movie called What Happened to Monday. They will use this tech and build it around the implant. This will ultimately control us. Once they gain this control, the majority will mean nothing. Not only do we need to reject the implant, we need to shut down this 5G beast system. They're putting these towers up in people's backyards. Guys, this shit is giving off so much radiation, it's developing cancer with people within days. And they're being around these things. They're nuking us right in our own backyard. For what? Faster communication? Like the speed we have isn't fast enough. It's not about the speed. They want this 5G up so they can develop these smart cities that will track our every move, put facial recognition at every red light, crosswalk, and they will need the 5G to do it. We must rise up, guys. If we can't stop them, we can at least slow them down, so maybe our grandchildren will have a decent future. A future where there is not enslaved worse than it already is. You can make a difference.